हेलो दोस्तों, वेलकम बैक टू ग्रो विद कनिष्का, जहां बोर्ड एग्जाम की तैयारी होती है स्मार्ट और फुल पावर से। मैं हूं आपकी कनिष्का डी, और आज हम फ्लेमिंगो बुक की आखिरी पोएम को अनरेवल करेंगे। अ शॉर्ट बट इनक्रेडिबली पावरफुल पोएम अबाउट आर्ट, ऑप्रेशन एंड द डिजायर फॉर फ्रीडम। आज हम पढ़ेंगे एक ऐसी पोएम जो बोर्ड एग्जाम के लिए तो इम्पॉर्टेंट है ही, बट इट प्रेजेंट्स अ स्टार्क कॉन्ट्रास्ट। ये कहानी है आंट जेनिफर की, जो अपनी आर्ट में फियरलेस टाइगर्स बनाती है while living a life full of fear and constraints. पोएम का नाम है Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. Let's explore the hidden meanings behind her creation. और हाँ, अगर आप पूरा वीडियो ध्यान से देखोगे तो एंड में मिलेगा एक फ्री सरप्राइज जो आपके बोर्ड प्रेप में गोल्ड जैसे काम आएगा। मिस मत करना। दिस पोएम बाय एड्रियन रिच स्पीक्स वॉल्यूम्स अबाउट विमेन्स एक्सपीरियंसेस। वैसे, अगर आप चाहते हो कि इंग्लिश बोर्ड प्रेप सॉलिड हो जाए तो अभी के अभी सब्सक्राइब करो ग्रो विद कनिष्का और बेल आइकॉन दबा दो, क्योंकि यहाँ हर लेक्चर होता है नेक्स्ट लेवल। लेट्स डिकोड द टाइगर्स एंड देयर क्रिएटर। आज हम पढ़ेंगे एक ऐसी पोएम जो बोर्ड एग्जाम के लिए तो इम्पॉर्टेंट है ही, बट इट प्रेजेंट्स अ स्टार्क कॉन्ट्रास्ट। ये कहानी है आंट जेनिफर की, जो अपनी आर्ट में फियरलेस टाइगर्स बनाती है while living a life full of fear and constraints. पोएम का नाम है Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. Let's explore the hidden meanings behind her creation. और हाँ, अगर आप पूरा वीडियो ध्यान से देखोगे तो एंड में मिलेगा एक फ्री सरप्राइज जो आपके बोर्ड प्रेप में गोल्ड जैसे काम आएगा। मिस मत करना। दिस पोएम बाय एड्रियन रिच स्पीक्स वॉल्यूम्स अबाउट विमेन्स एक्सपीरियंसेस। वैसे, अगर आप चाहते हो कि इंग्लिश बोर्ड प्रेप सॉलिड हो जाए तो अभी के अभी सब्सक्राइब करो ग्रो विद कनिष्का और बेल आइकॉन दबा दो, क्योंकि यहाँ हर लेक्चर होता है नेक्स्ट लेवल। लेट्स decode द टाइगर्स एंड देयर क्रिएटर। ओके चैंपियंस, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्टेक्स्ट। आंट जेनिफर्स टाइगर्स आपकी फ्लेमिंगो टेक्स्ट बुक की 5वीं एंड फाइनल पोएम है। इसे लिखा है इन्फ्लुएंशियल अमेरिकन पोएट एंड फेमिनिस्ट थियोरिस्ट एड्रियन रिच ने। Adrienne Rich, 1929-2012, was known for her involvement in the contemporary women's movement. Her work often reflects a strong resistance to racism, militarism, and patriarchal oppression. This poem, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, specifically addresses the constraints of married life that a woman experiences. It uses the powerful imagery of tigers created by Aunt Jennifer to contrast with her own oppressed and fearful reality. Board exam point of view से ये poem themes like patriarchal oppression, constraints of marriage for women, the contrast between art and life, and the struggle for identity पर focus करती है। इसमें से short answer and extract based questions आते हैं। Weightage is usually around 3-4 marks. Students often grasp the contrast but sometimes struggle with the deeper symbolism, especially of the wedding band and the word ringed. We will analyze everything in detail. Let's enter Aunt Jennifer's world, starting with her vibrant creations. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz, denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree, they pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. आंट जेनिफर ने टाइगर्स बनाए हैं, एम्ब्रॉयडर्ड और निटेड ऑन अ स्क्रीन और पैनल। ये टाइगर्स प्रांसन करते हैं। दे आर ब्राइट टोपाज, डेनिजन्स, डेनिजन्स मतलब निवासी, ऑफ अ ग्रीन वर्ल्ड। इम्पॉर्टेंटली, ये टाइगर्स डरते नहीं हैं। दे डू नॉट फियर द मैन बीनीथ द ट्री, सिंबल ऑफ मेल अथॉरिटी पॉइंट्स थ्रेट। दे मूव विथ sleek, chivalric certainty. They represent freedom, confidence, power, and fearlessness. Aunt Jennifer's fingers, fluttering through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Now the contrast. Aunt Jennifer की fingers उसकी wool में fluttering. Fluttering मतलब कांप रही हैं या nervously moving कर रही हैं. She finds even the light ivory needle hard to pull, suggesting physical weakness, nervousness, or fear. क्यों? The next lines give a clue. This massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon her hand. Wedding band यहाँ सिर्फ ring नहीं है. It symbolizes the oppressive burden of her marriage, the duties, constraints, and possibly the dominance of her husband, Uncle. Its weight is emotional and psychological, crushing her spirit. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie still, ringed with ordeals, and she was mastered by The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. Poet looks into the future. Jab aunt mar jayegi, her terrified hands will still be ringed with ordeals. She was mastered by jin पीड़ाओं ने उसे control किया. The word ringed is significant. It literally refers to the wedding ring, but also metaphorically means surrounded or bound by the ordeals of her married life. Her oppression continues even after death, marked on her body. However, the tigers she created in her art, the panel, will survive her. They will continue to prance, proud and unafraid. Her desire for freedom, power, and fearlessness, expressed through her art, will live on, even if she couldn't achieve it in her own life. Let's strategize for Aunt Jennifer's tigers. 1. Let's see some types of questions. Short answer for 2 marks, like, describe the tigers created by Aunt Jennifer. How are they different from her? Why are her fingers fluttering? What does the wedding band symbolize? What are the ordeals Aunt Jennifer is ringed with? What will happen to the tigers after her death? Extract-based for 4 marks, like any stanza asking about meaning, symbols, tigers, topaz, green world, men beneath tree, fluttering fingers, ivory needle, wedding band, ringed with ordeals, poetic devices, alliteration, fingers fluttering, prancing proud, symbolism, contrast, and at last, theme. Theme-based, discuss the theme of male dominance and patriarchal constraints in marriage. Analyze the contrast between art and life in the poem. Now how to write full mark. Answers. Focus on contrast. This is key. Explicitly contrast the tigers, free, fearless, confident, powerful, bright, with Aunt Jennifer, terrified, oppressed, weak, burdened. Explain symbolism. Clearly explain the meaning of key symbols. Tigers, freedom, courage, spirit, aunt desires, wedding band, oppression, burden of marriage, patriarchal control, fluttering fingers, needle hard to pull, fear, nervousness, lack of strength, agency, ringed, literal ring, plus surrounded by ordeals. Art as expression. Explain that Aunt Jennifer expresses her suppressed desires for freedom and power through her art, the tigers. Her art becomes a space where she can be what she cannot be in real life. Enduring art. Highlight the idea that while Aunt Jennifer suffers and dies under oppression, her art, and the spirit it represents, endures, proud and unafraid. Now let's see some common mistakes by student and some smart tips with them. Mistake 1. Describing the tigers simply as animals without explaining their symbolic significance. Freedom, fearlessness. Tip. Always link the description of the tigers to what they represent in contrast to Aunt Jennifer. Mistake 2. Taking the massive weight of the wedding band literally as physical weight. Tip. Emphasize it's the symbolic weight of marital oppression and constraints. Mistake 3. Not understanding the double meaning of ringed in the last stanza. Tip. Explain both meanings, wearing the wedding ring and being surrounded, bound by ordeals. ये गलती 80% स्टूडेंट्स करते हैं. वेडिंग बैंड को बस एक भारी अंगूठी समझ लेते हैं. अरे बेटा, वो सिंबल है, शादी के बोझ का, अंकल के डोमिनेंस का. Tigers recap, roar through it. Poem. Aunt Jennifer's Tigers by Adrienne Rich. Aunt Jennifer creates embroidered tigers on a panel. Tigers. Prance, bright topaz, live in green world, fearless of men, sleek, chivalric, confident. Symbol, freedom, power, fearlessness, Aunt desires. Aunt Jennifer, reality. Fingers flutter nervously, finds needle hard to pull. Hand weighed down by uncle's wedding band. Wedding band. Symbolizes massive weight burden of oppressive marriage and patriarchal control. After death. Aunt's terrified hands remain ringed by ring and ordeals. She remains mastered by oppression. Enduring art. But her tigers will keep prancing, proud, unafraid. Her artistic expression of freedom survives. Theme of the chapter. Patriarchal oppression in marriage. Art as escape expression. Contrast between inner desire, freedom, and outer reality, constraint. Let's practice analyzing this contrast. Question 1. How are Aunt Jennifer's tigers different from her? This usually came for 2 marks. Hint: create a direct contrast. Tigers: fearless, confident, powerful, free, prancing, bright. Aunt Jennifer: terrified, oppressed, weak, fluttering fingers, needle hard to pull, constrained by wedding band, ordeals. Example. Opening. Aunt Jennifer's tigers stand in stark contrast to her own personality and life experiences, while the tigers she creates are symbols of freedom, confidence, and power. Question 2. What is suggested by the image? Massive weight of uncle's wedding band. This usually came for 2 marks. Hint: explain. It's not just a physical ring. It symbolizes the heavy burden of her oppressive marriage, the responsibilities, constraints, and loss of identity freedom imposed by her husband, patriarchy. It sits heavily, suggesting it crushes her spirit. An example structure. The image, massive weight of uncle's wedding band, is highly symbolic. It suggests far more than the physical weight of a ring. It represents the immense emotional and psychological burden of Aunt Jennifer's marriage. Now, homework time. You have to write full answers in the comment box. Question for you is, explain the significance of the word ringed in the final stanza. Okay, जैसे मैंने स्टार्टिंग में प्रॉमिस किया था, अब वक्त है सरप्राइज का। अगर आपको इंग्लिश फ्लेमिंगो बुक के प्रोस पार्ट के चैप्टर्स के फुल नोट्स प्लस सैम्पल क्वेश्चंस प्लस कुछ टिप्स बोर्ड एग्जाम्स के लिए पीडीएफ फ्री चाहिए तो सिंपल काम करो, डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए मेरी वेबसाइट लिंक पर जाओ, वहां अपना नाम और ईमेल आईडी भरो और न्यूज़लेटर को सब्सक्राइब करो, फिर मैं आपको 24 घंटे के अंदर आपके ईमेल पर नोट्स भेज दूंगी। सो दैट वाज Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, a powerful commentary on hidden struggles and the enduring spirit found in art. I hope it gave you perspective. अगर वीडियो हेल्पफुल लगा हो, hit that like button. कमेंट में बताओ, what does art mean to you? Is it an escape or expression? And share this video with friends who appreciate feminist literature. और हाँ, Grow with Kanishka को सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलना as we continue exploring more subjects. Press the bell icon for all future updates. और हाँ, वेबसाइट पर सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलना. Remember Adrienne Rich's message. Constraints exist, but the human spirit, especially expressed through art, yearns for freedom and can create something powerful and enduring, even in difficult circumstances. Find your tigers, find your voice. Bye-bye, keep learning, and keep growing with Grow with Kanishka.